this particular video is going on my platform, so Instagram, YouTube, and my Facebook page, because of something that recently happened. So, as a person who has a platform that is growing, even for people who already have platforms that are up there, I feel like it's a personal due diligence to share and spread awareness to things that are going on, issues in the world, especially to our audiences who pays close attention to us and everything that we do. It's so easy to get on social media and think that people have it together. Think that people are like living their best lives and everyone, is doing all these amazing things. And sometimes it's just simply not the truth. And sometimes paying too much attention to other people's lives can cause you to go into a depression because it makes you feel as if you're behind. It makes you feel as if you're not doing enough. It makes you feel as if you're unaccomplished. And you're always constantly comparing yourself to someone else, especially given the times that people are going viral for the stupidest things, or certain images of beauty are being spread and it doesn't quite look or feel like you. And then on the lower end of this, you also have people that are going through like real life problems, and they don't have a place where they could turn or no one they could talk to. And the reason I'm making this video is because yesterday my mom called me and she shared with me that a childhood friend of mine committed suicide. Whew. And it was really, really tough to fathom, because this isn't a person that I just went to school with and had classes with. This person was much more like family because of how our lives were intertwined. It was someone that I've known since I was 9 years old. I was the maid of honor in his wedding. I was there when his kid was born, because he was married to my cousin and we all grew up together. So I was there for like major life components, and we were pretty decent friends coming up in high school. He was a talented individual, and he was very close with my niece because me and my cousin was raised as sisters pretty much. So, he was very close with my niece, and now she doesn't have her dad. Yesterday, he took his life, and he didn't even talk to anybody about what he was going through. He didn't say anything, and even when people were asking like if there was anything else wrong, he didn't want to talk about it. But that was the choice that he made to escape whatever mental prison that he was going through. Being a person who has been clinically diagnosed with depression at the age of 14, untreated, I've dealt with it. Someone who's also dealt with thoughts of suicide. It is not easy having those type of feelings and dealing with those type of emotions, especially if you're alone. And even for me, myself personally, when I feel like I've gotten over a hump of dealing with that, it comes back in different ways, different things trigger it. So like, for example, I really keep quiet about a lot of my problems, because honestly, who wants to go off spreading negativity and woe is me, what's going on? But like a month ago, I was attacked by two guys when I was coming in from dinner. Because if you live in LA or anywhere in California and you know your building does not have parking, 9 times out of 10 you're dealing with street parking. My apartment does not have parking, so I was grabbed by two men wearing all black and hoodies. They let me go, but it was just the stress of that sent me way over the deep end. And then just dealing with little things that followed up after that. So finally getting over those emotions after settling through that ordeal, I get a phone call that this happens. And it's just, in the last 18 months, just through social media alone and even with people closest to me, I've talked at least 3 people out of suicide, who are going through things, who are dealing with things. And that's not an easy process, especially when you're a person who knows what that feeling feels like, when you feel like you have nothing left to give, when you feel like you don't have the energy, the compassion, the love, the motivation to keep going, to to have someone tell you that they're there for you and that they care for you and that they love you and that you don't have to do that and that you have to keep going, you have to keep pushing, you taking yourself out of that mode and switching into that person to tell another person that it's not an easy thing to do. And the people that I've had to talk to about this were all young black men. And given the climate of what's going on in America, especially with black men, it, it's a lot of pressure on our men. It's a lot of pressure on their backs, having society, police brutality, being the parents, making it out of the hood if that's their environment, trying to measure up to this idea of what you should be all the fucking time, and not being able to express or show emotion because you're looked at as weak. You can't go on like that. You can't continue to feel as if you don't have an outlet to express yourselves emotionally. It is really important that you talk to someone when you're feeling like that, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, but especially my young black men. It's really important that you talk to someone when you're going through something because you're loved. I wrote last year, I wrote a blog about Dear Black Men, about our love, not our love, but my love for the black man, and when things were going crazy in America, where we were like losing men back to back to back for police brutality, I actually sent out a text to all the men in my life, my family, friends, my loved ones, just to let them know that I love them and that I'm always constantly praying for them and their well-beings and their mental state and their health, because we see so much crazy shit in the news that it sensitizes us and it numbs us from feelings, and it creates this dialogue to where no one is even really talking about it anymore. It's just kind of become the norm, and it is so important to have these conversations because now I have a niece who doesn't have a dad, and her dad was very close, and that small dynamic, the father-daughter relationship, is detrimental to a young girl's growth, and it breaks my heart knowing that she's not going to have the weekly visits, the weekend visits, the friendship that they had grown to bond over the last 10 years. Like, I really just want to put this out here. If you are going through something and you feel like you have no one to talk to, my DMs are always open. If you are struggling emotionally and you feel like you are at the end of the road and you're in the dark, my DMs are always open. If you feel as if if anything, if you feel like you just really need someone and the people around you wouldn't understand what it is that you're going through or what it is that you're feeling, my DMs are always open. I am hurt, and mentally knowing what occurred and how it happened, it's a big loss because he was such a sweet person, and words couldn't even explain. They couldn't. So I just want to put this out here because it's important to me that people know that they have a place where they can express themselves, where they can share their ideas, where they can talk to someone, where they can create a dialogue with someone, and understand that we all need somebody. We all need a friend. That environment is really important because everybody, for the most part, nowadays are all about themselves, living their best lives, doing what they want to do, and no one is really, I don't want to say no one's living to create an impact, but not enough people are living to create that type of dynamic to where there's an openness in a community available for those type of resources. So I'm gonna sign off and eat my meal and stuff. But these last couple of days was really hard to train because I couldn't stop thinking about what happened. It really threw me off, like mentally threw me off. So it was really on my heart to make this video and to share with you all that life is short, and you don't have to go through it alone. So I love you all. Thank you for watching this video.